Yay! Hi, everybody. You know, it's like you start recording and you're like, hey, hi, everybody. So welcome to our branding call tonight. I'm really excited to discuss some tips and tricks and ideas to help you push past any blocks that you're having in getting your vision and your message out there. For those who don't know, I am a graphic designer by trade. That is an industry I've been working in for almost a decade, including advertising, branding, and marketing. So this is something I'm very passionate about on just my end because I love to do every day. It's something I do every day. So I'm happy to share with you guys just a little bit of knowledge on helping you to take your personal endeavors, whether it be Beachbody or something else you're doing, to the next level. Let me change my view. Jennifer's not muted. Wait, no. Yes, she is. So when we think about branding, some of the first companies that come to mind are what? Like Apple, Nike, right? Some of the big ticket Reebok, a lot of the commercials that we see on TV. And when it comes to being an entrepreneur, what I've found is that we don't view ourselves with the same respect and just kind of detail that a lot of these big box companies have, right? Like we kind of play it small. But that's not the mentality that we need to have. Like if you are an entrepreneur, you have a business, then you have to get your stuff together where your type, your image, your photos, like everything comes full circle. And it's not necessarily something you have to invest a lot of money in, but it's definitely something you have to put time and research and attention into to kind of understand how to put it all together. It can be something that you pay for, but it doesn't have to be. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So first I want to go over some of the do's and don'ts to branding. And these are kind of a little bit of like high level ideas for you to think about. And it's kind of a little bit of a rule of thumb when you think about branding. So number one, do your research. Research. We have a lot of people who are new coaches on here, and they learn about tools that they can put on their phone or on the computer, and they're diving in, trying to design things for themselves, and they don't have any design background or aesthetic or just ideas about how to compose something properly. It's good to use those tools, but you have to develop some skills first in order to execute that very well. So, I think one of the things that you would want to do first and foremost is just make sure that you do your research. Like take time to look at brands, take time to look at other people that are in your industry that are doing things well. What does their logo look like? Is it complicated? Is it simple? Is it text? Is it something illustrated? What are their brand colors? Why do they work together? Why do you gravitate towards a certain brand or not? Look at how they present themselves online. What kind of photography are they composing? Are they using things that have a lot of words all over it? Or are they doing things where it's very simple and just kind of understated, right? It's kind of the idea that less is more. Whoever's on, can you make sure that you mute yourself? I don't know why I can't get to this in time. Okay, there we go. Are the things that they're putting together like words all over the place? Or is it kind of really simple and it's just letting the picture speak for itself, and it's composed and it's cropped in a really interesting way? Those are all the things that we gravitate towards when we want to follow somebody on social media. They are captivating our attention. They're capturing our attention, right? And they're earning our attention, right? That's another thing you got to think about. We're giving them our attention because they're taking the time to curate the experience of seeing them and what they have to offer. They're taking the time to curate that experience for us. So when you think about your company and your brand, it's the same thing. This needs to be a well thought out, curated experience. It's more important to post great content than it is to just have content up. I would much prefer you posted twice a week and it was the most amazing thing you could put out than trying to just flood your page every single day and it's not of good quality. So that's one thing. So do your research. Number 2, consider hiring somebody. Put some money away, hire a designer. Look at, companies that are out there that play towards small businesses and consider getting somebody. You can go on Fiverr, somebody can make a logo for you. There's resources everywhere. But if you don't have the skills to execute it, then you need to pay someone. And you should want to pay somebody for their knowledge and their expertise, right? Because it's their art that's going to bring your brand to the next level. So it's really important that you pay somebody to deliver that for you. Number 3, be consistent. Be consistent in your brand vision, in your brand message. Don't deviate. Once you have your typeface or your logos and your colors and your style together, don't deviate and do something totally different. Like, you need to stay consistent with that for a long time, because in order for somebody to know who you are, not everybody's going to see your stuff at the same time. So it's going to take a really long time for you to put out the same or similar type of style for a while for people to learn. Look at some of the big box companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They didn't change their logo for how many years? Like 50 years, 40 years. They used the same exact branding for like decades, right? The same style. Or if they're running a campaign, how many people remember when Apple had their iPod come out and they had those silhouettes and they were dancing with all the like flashy colors, and they ran that campaign. It was all over New York. It was all in billboards and everywhere. And it was like the white iPod and the black silhouettes, and they're dancing against all these flashy colors. And they ran that campaign for like a couple of years before they switched to something else. And now they have a more like sleek, cool, techie kind of vibe. So if you think about what big brands do, you need to stay consistent in that, okay? So in your photography, your style, your color, your type, those are kind of the essential elements of what makes your brand a brand, right? Those are your visual graphic elements. Do invest in quality photos. If you are a coach, you need to have a good quality headshot. And I'm not talking about a selfie you take with your phone. I'm talking about go to JCPenney and get the special and get a good, headshot made if you need to, or find a photographer, or go to a school. Here's a great tip. You can go to a school with an art program and ask somebody for you to be their client. They would love that. They get, to put you in their portfolio and you get free photography. So think about going to like a local college's career center and say, hey, I'm a new brand. Do you have any students that would want to work for me pro bono? And, maybe they get a college credit for doing it or whatever else. But like, there's ways where you don't necessarily have to spend money, but to get, the execution of what you need. So you got to, be a little resourceful here. But everyone that wants to take their brand, their company, their coaching, whatever to the next level, you have to have quality photography. It is a must. It is one of the most important things you do next to the vital behaviors is to have great photos, okay? Number 5, be patient. Do be patient. It takes time. It takes time, it takes time, it takes time. I am now feeling more confident in brands that I'm building now, many years later, than when I first started. A lot of that is my own personal journey. For some of you, it may be faster than others. That's okay. But, it's going to take time for you guys to develop the skill and the consistency. So just like with your fitness, branding takes time. Number 6, make sure that you test a campaign for 3 months or longer. Stick to the same kind of ideas and messaging. Don't just think that you're going to do it for a week and that's it. Or a month. Like sometimes you have to put out the same content, even if it's the same photo, the same before photo, or the same typography post, and you just reiterate that content. That's okay. You need to post it in a lot of different places. You need to get it out there. You don't have to just post something once and then that's it. It's dead forever. Like bring it back up, put it back out. As long as it's branded in your style and speaks to you, you can push it back out there. There's no problem. Number 7, take time to understand your audience. So for those of you that are in the Coachtober group that we're running, or we're posting every day, we had you guys do the customer avatar questionnaire. If you haven't done that, or if you're not in the group, I highly recommend that you do some kind of target write-up of who your customer is, so that you understand what they want and what they like. And this is going to be reflected in the content of your brand. So that's really important. So really take time to understand your audience. Number 8, dare to be different. I'm going to say this, like, you are the best you that you can be. And you're unique, and you have qualities and ideas, and you have a story to tell, and that's okay. And you need to find a way to take all the things about you that's wonderful and inject it into your brand, so that it speaks to your volumes. Like, if you like bright colors, then your brand should be bright colors. If you like contrast, then you should have high contrast things. If you like more cool, calming colors, muted colors, then that should be, your brand. Or if you like, typography that's a little bit more clean and calm, then that should be that. Or if you like script and wild, funky fonts, then that should be what you do. But, whatever your personality is like, it should be reflected into your brand. Number 9, do create a brand launch with your own hype team. So once you have your branding together, it's time for you to do your launch. So many coaches don't do that. They don't put any hype around saying, hey guys, I branded myself. Check this out. Tell me what you think. Give me some feedback. What do you think? Or even along the journey, when you're kind of testing the waters and you're asking your audience for feedback, they can help you kind of hone your vision. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Don't be afraid to do a survey. But once you have your brand together, behind the scenes, get your little hype team together so that you guys can share each other's branding, right? There's more than enough people in this world, in this country, for us to all be successful. So we should all be empowering each other and bigging each other up and celebrating each other when we do something great. Same thing when you have a cool brand. Like, you need to be sharing each other's stuff. You're in the same team, Hey, check out what my friend did. Isn't this really cool? What do you guys think, right? And then once they're ready, then you can do that for them, and you guys share each other's stuff. So have your own hype team. Make sure you have a launch for your brand. All brands do that. Apple, they're famous. Every time they have a new product, they have a huge launch, and there's so much hype about it. You're the same way. You're a company, so do that. Number 10, do create a brand statement that matters. Vision is going to be the most important part of everything that you do in your life, with your company, as a coach, as a parent, as a spouse, as whatever. Vision. You have to have a statement that matters, a vision that matters. So you need to actually have the time and write it down and say, like, what am I about? What is it about me that somebody's going to gravitate towards? What do I have to give? What do I have to offer somebody? What have I done that I think I can use that to inspire somebody else? Or where do I see this brand being in, 5 years from now? What kind of team am I going to have? If coaching is your main gig, what kind of team am I going to have wrapped around this mission? What is my brand? What is this mission? It's so much easier to get people behind a mission than it is to just get them behind, just somebody's before and after just because they lost weight. Like, what is the mission of what I'm trying to do? So think about that. Have a clear, defined vision. One of the books that I love is 12-Week Year. It really is helping me to define my vision, and that's helping me to define my brand even more. So I highly recommend that you guys pick up the 12-Week Year, because it helps you to break down your vision and your goals in a way that allows you to accomplish things a little bit quicker than you would think. So I like that. All right, now for the don'ts. Don't get caught up in the competition. That's really important. Don't compare yourself to other people, other coaches, other brands. It's good to look at what they're doing and appreciate things that they're doing well or things that you like, but don't compare yourself, okay? That's not good. Don't make empty promises and try to be someone that you're not. if you're not a bubbly, kind of coach that's all crazy, then don't try to be that. Like, be who you are. I mean, obviously you want to be nice and you want to be personable, but like, don't try to be someone that you're not. Be who you are. And that needs to reflect in your brand. Don't expect to reach an endpoint. Just like with your fitness, branding is a journey as well. And you're going to discover yourself along the way. So don't think that your initial ideas are going to be the ones that you end up on forever. Like, it's always going to constantly change and refresh itself. So branding is also a journey, just like fitness. Don't waste money on something you don't love or won't use. Like, don't buy into something that you're just going to throw your money away. Like, make sure that you make an informed decision that this is going to be the thing that you're going to commit to and stick to it all the way through. Don't try to create a tagline that sounds catchy. Some people do this. They try to have like slogans and taglines, like, you're not a coupon company. Like, no, don't try to do things like that. Like, if you're going to have some kind of a mantra for your team or some kind of like mission statement, make sure that it speaks to your vision and it doesn't just sound catchy. Some people do that, so I just had to put that out there. And don't forget to promote your brand internally. This goes back to the whole vibe and tribe thing. Like, if you have a team, then everybody should identify with that team and be proud of that team. And you should promote that cohesion and that brand within the team. And make sure that people understand that they are very much a part of this experience and helping the brand have a face. And they're ambassadors of that team. It's a really, really important part that they need to know that it's not just about you. You're not the brand. The team is the brand. The people behind it are part of the culture and the vibe of it. So make sure that they understand and feel that they're a part of it. So how can you promote that culture internally back into your brand and into your team? Another thing, don't try to make everyone happy or speak to everyone. You're not going to be able to please everyone. It's not going to happen. Don't overcomplicate things. Less is more. I don't think I have to say any more than that. Less is more. I'm just going to tell you, less is more. Don't take your eye off what's hot and trending. A lot of times you can create your brand vision based on things that are happening in pop culture. Things will just come together. They'll align. You'll be like, bam, that's it. So make sure that you keep your eye open for things that are in the now. And don't take the power of a first impression for granted. And this kind of goes back to putting out great content. You only get one opportunity to make a first impression and to make a lasting impression, because every single person that comes across your brand is going to judge it positively, negatively, whatever. So, taking the time out to really put effort into your branding is going to just benefit you long term. Sound good? Thumbs up? Awesome. All right. So now that we got through that, let's take a look at some of my girls who posted. Oh my goodness. Don't get nervous. All right. So let me go to the chat. Who's first? All right, Ashley. Hey, Ashley. All right. So can I unmute you? We're going to talk. How you doing?
Good.
So just really quickly, what do you think you struggle with the most with your branding?
I think I'm still in the process of figuring out what my brand is at this point. So because I'm still a newer coach, I'm almost 2 years in. So basically just figuring out what, and actually I did after I went to Summit, I kind of figured out, I definitely know for me, I love yoga and tacos are life for me. And I love my tattoos and I love my family. And so I just really want and I'm really positive, since I started coaching, I had been in a really big depression and And so now I have this positive spin on life. And so like a lot of the things I talk about are just being positive and good vibes and gratefulness and yes, makeup. I love makeup. So I thought about like my brand, and I wanted it to be like tattoo sporting, coffee drinking, good vibing, yoga loving, makeup junkies. Like that's what I wanted it to be.
Awesome. All right. I think that's great. I mean, if those are the things that speak to you, then I think all of those things need to be a part of what you're doing. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so I'm just going to go really quick because I know we have a lot of stuff to get through. So this is your timeline. All right, great cover photo. Profile photo. Look at that. Wow. Gorgeous. Love it. I love this too because it's close enough, like it's not too far away. That's really important if you're gonna have a photo of yourself, like it's like front and center, so you get that. I hope you love this picture because I would leave it there for a long time.
It's my favorite picture.
Right. So you'll have that, and then you'll just use that. So like in this instance, it's not a professional photo, but obviously she put a lot of time and effort into her makeup and her hair, and she looks really great. So like, I think this works. It's relatable. Some people don't do things like that. So this is an example of a selfie done well. So I highly recommend if you guys are going to do that, you have like a really nice selfie that you love. All right, so let's go to your cover photo. So here.
I haven't done that in a long time. I've worked on it and then I'm like, no, that doesn't look right. And then I just leave it and I haven't messed with it since I made it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you need to do is like go back to what typefaces you love, right? So like getting a logo for yourself, and then I would say no more than 2 typefaces. I usually like to pick a serif, so it could be something scripty or something that has like the little things on the end, and a sans serif. The combination of serif and sans serif together often look really, really nice because like the logo or the main thing can be serif. And this is usually for females. A lot of guys won't use this unless it has a more masculine tone. And then the sans serif can be informational. It can have like your quote or your mantra or something that you want to add. I would definitely simplify this down to maybe like, well, do you have newer pictures?
I'm actually getting some. We're going to the pumpkin patch and we're shooting fall pictures, family pictures, because we haven't had family pictures and like nice pictures for a long time.
Right. And I honestly think, and I know a lot of people might think this is crazy, but like, I don't think in your cover photo you necessarily have to show a before and after. And I'm just saying that because you have it here and some other people might have it. Like there's so many opportunities to share your before and after with context. I think it's much more important to show your personality in a cover photo than anything else. So like if you're gonna do a collage, maybe like no more than like 3, or like 2 in a quote, or 2 in your logo, or 1 really nice one in your logo, but definitely simplify it down. I think that would work fine. All right, let's jump over to your like page. So yeah, the same thing. Love this here where you're like, hi, really welcoming. I see you have the same photo, so that's good. The reason why you want to use the same photo in several places is because people need to get to know you and your face, and the more opportunity they see the same photo, they'll connect the brand with you. So that's really important. Same thing here. I don't think you need your before and after, and that's just in things that I've seen, especially with coaches, like we're so before and after driven because it gives us it gives us kind of like a valid feeling, right? We want to feel like we have something to prove to people. But I think like there's so much more to coaching than just this. And I think, and this is for everyone, not just you, I think it's more important for you to sell you than necessarily just your results, and take the opportunity to really show what you do through your content and not necessarily here. And because also everyone's doing it, right? So
okay,
you don't want to be like that. So yeah, so I think also too, like you see how this is like a dark background and the type is kind of dark.
Uh-huh.
But you want to stay away from things that are maybe hard to read. It's like being able to read text on a photo is so important, and that's why I try to stray away from colors. I really like to stick with things that are like black or white on the contrast on the background. So if it's black, the background is going to be much lighter. If it's white, then it's going to be much darker. But I just feel like in design, it's much better to stick with like simple colors in typography than things that are going to just be bright. And I know you're trying to bring in like the purple and the greens, so I get why you did that.
Okay.
So yeah, so just simplify this, find 2 typefaces you really love, and then go with that. And then, you know, you're getting pictures done, so you'll change that. And then I think you had Instagram. Where's your Instagram? I have put it here. Where did it go? Maybe I lost it. I think I lost you. Let's see. How do I get back to the chat?
I have it linked to my Instagram though, my like page.
You have your like, that's good. That's good. This way you don't have to do double the work, right? Right here, dental assistant down 45 pounds, busy mom, makeup addict. This is really important for those of you that a little summary, make sure that you have something there. It's not just like, hi, I'm here. But you could make a funny statement. Like on mine, I have like make me your BFF. So that's like one of my new things that I'm doing, like make me your BFF. Cute. Great. Interesting. I love how you're including the makeup. Not too much text all over. That's important. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing things right. Like you have more photos and you have text all over everything. So I think a lot of this stuff works. You have some good, interesting quote photos. Just like I said, simple, less is more, just really simple type. So far, so good. So yeah, those are the kind of the things. So getting a logo, getting 2 typefaces you love, really nice photos in your cover for both pages, and I think you'll be good. Do you have any questions for me?
On my like page, I did have my logo on there. So I have like a girl sitting in a lotus position, and then there's the lotus behind her, and she has like flowy hair.
Yes.
So would you say redo my logo, or?
I would. I mean, it looks very clip art to me.
Okay.
Not to like offend you or anything, but it doesn't look like a brand. Like It looks like you kind of put something together in Microsoft Office, right? It's not designed. So you want something that is designed specifically for you. And the best logos stand alone in black and white on anything. Like if you're going to do a logo, I always like to start in black and white. And then you can decide where colors are going to be. Because a lot of times, if you're going to take your logo and put on a t-shirt or a bag or a book or a poster or wherever, right? Sometimes you're only going to get the option of 1 or 2 colors. So less is more when you're going to create a logo. It needs to stand alone. So like for you right here, if you were to turn this into a 1-color logo, it'd be all black. The lotus, you'd lose that depth because you have the lotus in green and then you have her in the front in purple, but it would just kind of all look like one kind of meshed. It kind of looked like a turkey, right? If it was all like one. So you have to consider that also. So I think like maybe getting an illustrator to redo it, like go on Fiverr or like I said, go to a school or something and seeing how, or a tattoo artist. Tattoo artists are actually really great because they're artists and they draw. It's a great opportunity to maybe go back to them and see if one of them would design a logo for you, right?
Okay.
And do that. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Ashley. See, not too bad. I wasn't too brutal, right?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Who's next? Is this helping you guys? Hopefully, all the stuff I'm sharing, and hopefully I'm not going too over your heads with this stuff. But all right, Danielle, you're next. All right. Where'd you go? Oh, there you go. You're up there. Let's unmute you. Hi.
Hi, can you hear
What did
me?
you send me? All right, you sent me a couple things. I'm going to open them real quick. And we have a like page.
My like page is a little rough.
Why don't I have the mobile? Oh, this is the mobile. I'm like, why does this look like that?
Oh yeah, I had to do it from my phone.
Yeah, that's fine. here. All right, so let's start with, all right, so this is your, so first, is your profile public?
I think so.
Okay, just asking. Let me get this out.
It should be.
Okay, great. I forgot to ask Ashley that if her profile is public. If your profiles are not public, guys, make sure they're public. We can have a whole discussion on privacy. It's not real. I'm just going to tell you right now. There's no such thing as privacy. Okay. So, okay, cute. The only problem is it's cropped. So you have this like weird white space, right? So,
yeah. It was from my Instagram.
Yeah. So I would think about making sure that this is like prime real estate for a photo. So make sure you take up all this space.
Okay.
Guys don't have anything here that has like white space. Make sure that it's like a one solid block photo. Cute. But the only thing I'm seeing here is like I'm seeing feet in your baby. Mm-hmm. Not that your baby's not cute, but there's probably a better execution of like showing your family, right?
Yeah.
Right? Than necessarily this.
Okay.
So I would think about maybe, do you have other family photos that you like?
Yeah, we just got some done. We just got some taken last month.
Great. So yeah, cropping really matters, right? You want to give people like a reason to like stop. I mean, not that this isn't interesting, but I definitely think like we want to see you and your family, right? We want to see your feet.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good. That's a mother, fur mom. Oh, Disney Fanatic Health and Fitness. Great. Awesome. All right. So let's go to this is your like page.
So I made that banner. I think it's so ugly, but I just wanted to have something up there. I made it from my phone and I understand Canva a little more now.
Oh, good.
And so I'm in the process of making a new one.
Great. So yeah, so I would just update that. Like I said, if you're going to do a collage, I really like, I have Pick Stitch. I really like Pick Stitch, which is like a really easy collage. And I keep the background white. If you're going to do one of those collage things, please don't use a texture in the lines of the collage. That looks really terrible. Like just let it be white and have your photos. Like, but yeah, so I would do that. This is great. I would really love to see a consistent photo. So maybe like with Ashley, like pick the same one. It's going to be this. Make sure it's the same on your timeline and your like page.
Okay.
Have a little bit of consistency there. I'm not going to dive too much into content because that's like a whole nother call, but I just wanted to try to go over that. But yeah, so like updating this, like I said, the 2 typefaces. So maybe pick 2 that you really like. There's a really great website. I'll post it for you guys in your team page, like in the links, where they do like a bundle of typefaces. I got one last month. It was like 40 typefaces or more for like $29. It was like super cheap and so cute. And like 50 ones, all different ones. So I'll post that up for you guys. Always downloading really, really nice typefaces is great. Whoever just came on, can you mute yourself? I don't know who it is, but I'm in the thing. Another thing too is Google Fonts. Google Fonts has really, really great fonts. Just in case you didn't know that. I can get to this. What's the last part? Hold on. Whose background am I getting? I'm getting background noise.
Oh, maybe me.
Yeah.
Evelyn, I think. Oh, no.
No, Christina.
No, Christina. Oh, somebody else. Sorry, guys. All right, back to the screens here. All right. Snapchat. Okay. Stay-at-home mom. Emma Lynn Dixon. That's your baby?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's PNW?
Pacific Northwest.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
Oh. Washington State.
No, I know where it is.
Oh.
I didn't know what the abbreviation, like, that didn't stand out to me. So
okay.
You have to consider like that. I mean, some people may know, they might not, but.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Skinny fat to fit. All right, you have your email in there. So also too, like you should consider upgrading to a business account. So this way you get more real estate to take this out. And then what'll happen when you get a business account, it'll have a contact button, which you can put your email in. So for those of you who are on Instagram, it's really simple. Upgrade your Instagram to business, and then you can say more things. And like also too, guys, think about changing this information periodically so it's fresh. And this is like where you can like whatever's trending, you can keep with the pop culture of things and kind of showcase your personality here, because when people are checking things. All right, so what are we looking at here? Hey, you just went Emerald, congrats.
Thanks.
Awesome, cute. So I like this more than I see these, right? Because this has a little bit of style here.
Okay.
Right? So like if you're gonna do type, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, do your own typography mock-ups. Don't share them unless they're designed really well. Because unless it's like a meme thing that's funny and like obviously for a specific reason. But I think that's good. Let's see. Definitely a way to bring in more color. I mean, not to say that your photos aren't colorful, but like I'd love to see more food on here.
Okay.
But like interesting croppings or like nice overhead pictures of that. I think that really matters. I love that you have a lot of family photos, different things that you're doing. You have a lot of selfies before pictures. So I think all those things are, oh my gosh. Oh, so cute. Yeah, I think all those things kind of work. Yeah, so like when we start to look at some other influencers, which I'm gonna go through really quick. I think so far so good. So like updating your branding is really just about getting a logo, getting typefaces, and then having like quote photos that you really like that kind of speak to your brand and stay consistent with those two typefaces. I think that would help a lot.
Okay.
Sound good? Any questions for me?
No, that was all very helpful.
Okay, great. All right, who's next? Boop, boop, boop. Did we not get links? Is that it? All right, that's it. I don't have links. Who was the other person? Tammy? Did you post your links for me? I don't know why I don't see them in the chat. And my dog is acting up behind the scenes. Sorry if you hear the growling. Oh, there we go. All right. So Faith, this is your like page or your profile page? This is your profile page? Do you have a like page or Instagram?
No.
Not yet.
Hi.
Hi.
I just started an Instagram like maybe 3 days ago, and I don't have a like page. So I've only been coaching since like June, and so I'm really trying to cram a bunch of stuff in, and I don't know, haven't got real far with it yet.
That's fine. Hey, we all got to start somewhere. It's all good. All right, so it's really going to be the same feedback for you, right? Like, so number one, I want to see your face.
Yeah.
You got to put your face. Like, you are your brand first and foremost. So seeing your face there is.
I know that I don't put enough personal stuff. I probably put too many memes and just not a whole lot of stuff about me or anything else, really.
So yeah, I mean, like that's going to cause a lot of struggle in your coaching business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I can't connect to any of these things, right?
Right.
So like maybe you take a break from posting memes.
Yeah.
And you only post like 1 or 2 days a week, and you post more you. Like a lot of people think when they need to post things, right, they get really nervous. Like just share what you're doing at the moment.
Do what?
Just share what you're doing at the moment. Even if you're just sitting at your computer working on something or writing or cooking. Like you don't have to appear like you have a life more interesting, right? Like just share what you're doing and people can relate like, hey, who meal prepped today? Or you can say like, oh, I'm trying out a new recipe, or I'm ironing. Like, what's your favorite iron? I don't know. Like it could be something as simple or silly as that, you know, or who hates folding laundry, that kind of stuff.
Earlier when you were talking about, was it avatar, you know, and finding your audience, that's something like I'm kind of having a struggle with, is like figuring out who my audience is. Because I'm a grandma, I fight depression. But yeah, I used to be a youth leader too, and I'm still connected with a lot of my kids from youth group. So I'm not really sure just like who do I zone in on.
Well,
And so that's part of my problems of trying to figure out, like what type of things to post that's going to, interest everybody sort of thing.
so
Does that make any sense?
I think you really have to think about like who you want in your team, right? If you're trying to build this Beachbody business, your avatar should speak to the people that you want to help and the people you want around you in your circle. So I think you really need to think about who that is, or it could be more than one. Like you don't have to just have one avatar also, guys. Like you can have more than one. So maybe you build profiles for different people, like the perfect customer that you want to mentor and coach, and then the perfect coach that you want to bring into your team and your tribe. I mean, I think for you, like you're in a very early stage, so it's okay though. Like you can create your
overwhelming,
but like you have a start and you're getting this information now. So like you have an opportunity to take a nice photo or have someone take a nice photo of you, and for you to just post something really pretty up as your cover photo. Like it can be a quote, but it has to be good resolution, good typefaces. Like I said, go on Fiverr and maybe somebody can design it, or maybe another coach on the team would be willing to design something for you, or maybe you guys all get together and do a powwow and do some stuff for each other. But or speak to your sponsor about what they're using or what they're doing. But I think like for you, like these are roadblocks you're going to have to get over very quickly. They're not necessarily hard. It's just going to, take maybe a week or two for you to just sit down and ask certain questions. So I think that's really going to be the best thing for you to do. All righty.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, guys. So in the next couple minutes, I just want to take a look at some branding. So let's look at some Instagram pages of some influencers, people who have a lot of followers, right? They have clearly defined. So Hannah, I'm obsessed with Hannah. I pretty much stalk her because not only is she gorgeous and she can cook, but she just appears interesting to me. Like there's something about her that just seems interesting. And so I want to know what she's doing. Another thing too, like you see how her photos are cropped in a certain way that it appears mysterious and interesting, right? I think that's her husband. Even down to like this silly, even down to stuff like that. Like she DJ, like I don't know if she's a DJ, but you see how like she's not doing anything spectacular. She's just cropping her life in interesting ways. So, I mean, even something as simple as that, anyone can take a photo like that. Really, it doesn't really take a lot for you to get a photo like that. I think it's just like obviously thinking about like, hey, snap a photo of me. My hair is blowing in the wind. Somebody snap a photo of me right now. That kind of stuff. Or just like when you're out to dinner. So I just really like how she, has a little bit of mystery with things that she's doing. And obviously this takes a lot of practice. So you're not going to get it right away, but you have to spend a lot of time taking a lot of photos of yourself, of your family, and trying, like, here's a good exercise. If you want to learn photography, go on somebody's page and try to take the exact photo that they took and just see how you do it, right? And how it comes out. Try to do the same pose. Try to do the exact same composition. Jen Selter, we all know her. She's all about her booty. But she's got 10 million followers. And yes, there are probably a lot of guys. And she really loves her butt. But hey, that's a brand and she's sticking to it. If there's anything I can say about her, she's only 23 and she knows her audience. And she knows what she's doing. So, I mean, it's kind of all the same, but the same is bringing in 10 million people. So there's something to be said about somebody who does the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? It's kind of all the same stuff, but people love it. I mean, it's the same, but it's different because it's high contrast, it's bright colors, it's different environments. She's exposing a life. Like, I wouldn't say that I would think any of these things are in the same place. It always seems like she's kind of on the go and doing different things. So that's kind of like her thing. I love this girl. Have you guys seen Jessamine? So she does yoga, and look how many followers, 228,000. She says she freaking loves yoga. So there you go. But I love it because she's authentic and she's true to who she is, and she takes a lot of time and effort into showing why, right? She can do things that most people probably can't with their body, and she's promoting a body positive image, which I really love, right? So like, you don't have to be a skinny yogi to show that. And she's getting followers because she's staying true to who she is, right? Unapologetic about who she is. So this should motivate you guys. Like, you don't have to be the picture perfect coach. Like, you don't have to be, you know, who you think you need to be. You can just be you and share that. Here's another one. So Marie, she's a Reebok athlete. So she's got a different style about things that she's doing. How great that is. Why? Just like, pure joy, right? So she's got a little bit, how great is that photo, right? The teamwork. Imagine if you guys and your team did something like that, got all together and did something like that from an overhead view. But there's just something really interesting. So when you think about your brand, you just really have to take a second to stop and think, like, what am I doing? What am I trying to share with people? What kind of message, you know, what kind of angle am I trying to put out there? And I'm going to tell you right now, if you want photos like this, then you have to practice taking photos like this. Everyone is capable of doing things like that. Also, too, a really good app for the iPhone, I don't know if it's on Android, is the VSCO Visco Cam. It's got really great filters that you can, I mean, you can pay for them. Some of them are free. So yeah. So look at this, so you see, like, there's style in nobody looks the same here. Like, no page that I showed you looked at that exactly the same. Like, everybody has their own style about what they're doing. Maybe some of the poses are similar, but if you look at what we're seeing here, everybody has their own. And what is the number one thing that you see? It's a lot of the same. Like, they're very consistent in posting body images. And the reason why I wanted to share fitness influencers with you is because you guys all need to think of yourselves as fitness influencers. You all need to take into consideration the next time you post something, get a freaking tripod and put the camera far away. Don't have everything be a selfie. Like, allow yourself some environment and allow the person, invite them into the space to view the image and think about what you're doing, right? We live in such a visual world. It's so important that we give people atmosphere and environment in our photos. And we're not stuck right here. Like, you need to step back and step away and allow that to be part of the experience of what you're doing. All right, so let's look at some websites. This is Anna Victoria. So she's another influencer. She's got her own website. Really simple. This is a WordPress website, okay? It's nothing fancy schmancy. Cute little, see, this is a serif and a sans serif. So serif has like the little things that hang over the letters, and a sans serif. Well, this is actually handwritten type, but still. So she's got her blog and success stories. So that's another thing too, guys. Like, even if you can just grab one person and personally mentor them to success, it'd be worth it, even if you just have that one success story and you share it everywhere. So it's really important. So she does like the whole fit body guides. Let's take a look at that. Yep, and she's selling her own meal plans. There you go. So, and she tells you everything that you're gonna get. You could totally do this with a Beachbody program. You don't have to say anything Beachbody. You could literally go into the shop, copy what they're gonna get, put it on your own website, say the type of program it is without mentioning anything about Beachbody, and sell it. And it could click over, you know, and it could go right to the purchase. Like, you could totally do that. You don't have to put 21-day fix. Like, you could say portioning program and list all the benefits. So I'm just going to tell you guys that. Massey Arias, so she's great. This girl's a boss. So this is her new website. I want to say that it was different from before. So she's doing the same thing. She's got millions of followers on Instagram. And so she sells her own program, her own like nutrition plans. And she's got equipment. She also has supplements now that she's doing. But if you see this, like, interesting, simple, see, very clean, very white, simple, simple, simple. And then health beauty. So this is Hannah's website. This is Hannah, this girl. This is her brand. White, clean, contrast. And then she has like a blog and she shares different things. And then all these pictures click back to that specific picture on her Instagram. How cool is that? It goes right back to her Instagram. So all these pictures, she linked them out. How beautiful is that photo? I mean, that's probably taken with an iPhone. I'm going to tell you that right now. It wasn't anything like just an overhead photo. And then they bump up the colors in some kind of photo editing program. So I'm going to post this link, but if you want to know more about influencers, I'm going to post this in the chat. So this is what I was looking at. And there's 17 of these fitness influencers. This is on Pop Sugar. I'm going to post this in the chat now if you want to take a look at their brands and kind of model yourself after some of these people. All right, guys. So let me post this. Hold on. I'm going to the chat. Why can't I?
Nina.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I usually tell my coaches this, but actually, let me unmute. Hold on, sorry. I usually tell my coaches this, and I was wondering what's your opinion on this. So I see a lot of, like, for example, that HB Fit account that you just saw. I know a lot of accounts that will grow their accounts by using photos of other accounts and and give credit back to that account. What's your opinion on that? Because I do think that sometimes that could be advantageous to people, especially as they're trying to make their kind of Instagram look better and trying to find other maybe accounts that maybe they want to give shout outs to. So what it's doing is that you're promoting, maybe another blogger or something while you're also getting that quality photo. And because I've seen a lot of people grow that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, so that's all part of the whole influencing lifestyle, right? Like, so when you're someone that has a huge audience, if you don't, you could pay them to mention you. So that's one avenue. Or you could ask to repost or regram their content and shout them out and see if they'll cross market back to you and do the same thing. So like, however you choose to bargain or, set up a deal, I do think that that's worth it. Right? So that's cross marketing. It's no different than me going into a store and putting my flyer in and me taking their business cards or their menu and putting it up in my location, right? So that's cross marketing. I think that's fine. I mean, for some people, they're not going to be able to afford it, right? Because I don't know what a mention would cost for certain influencers. Like, some people don't do that, but if you do know people that do that, I think that is a great way to grow. But I also feel like you have to have a strong brand before you start doing that. Like, your branding needs to be pretty much set, because it doesn't make sense trying to drive traffic to something that isn't well thought out, right? It doesn't have good content. It doesn't have good design. It doesn't have a clear call to action and a place for people to go, because at the end of the day, as coaches, you want to take people from Instagram and get them into your challenge groups or sign them up as coaches or bring them onto Facebook so you can have conversations and build relationships. So you need to give them something to believe in first. So I think like once you get established in your branding and you've promoted that long enough and you've taken the time to follow certain influencers and study them and understand how they work, then it might be possible for you to go back and direct message and say, hey, I love what you're doing. Do you do this? Do you do mentions, or do you have advertising? And how do I get involved with that? There's nothing wrong with asking. I think that's a really good thing to do. And then for people who are up and coming, because I get offered all the time, like, hey, be a brand ambassador, or, oh, mention my blah, 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 or I'll mention you. I think that it's a good idea to maybe go to some people who are up and coming. Maybe you have 500 and they have 2,000 and you guys cross market. Or maybe you go to the next person that's 10,000 or 20,000, and you hit some people that are not like 1 million or 300,000. That's more like in your range, and you ask to cross market. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing, like, you can't get something for nothing. It's just not the way that it works, especially with people who have built that audience. If you have 200 followers and your brand is together and you're going to somebody with 10,000, you need to expect that they're either going to want you to pay or something else. I don't know what the terms would be. So you just have to really think about your strategy in that. Like, I think Gary Vaynerchuk was talking about that at Summit. So yeah, I think that's good. Anybody else have any questions? Was this helpful, guys? I know it's a lot of information, but hopefully you guys are thinking more visually. It's so important. And yeah, no other questions? Speak now or forever. Wait, Tony. Wait, no, yes? Wait, chat. There's chat. Okay, hold on, chat. Very helpful. Okay, thank you, Tammy. All right, anybody else? All right, that's it. That's my spiel. Thank you, guys.